Hi everyone, my name is Abhishek and I have a 6+ years of experience towards the JavaScript and React.js. And today our main focus will be on event loop, which is one of the key concept in JavaScript and which makes JavaScript a illusion to make a single-threaded language to looks like a multi-threaded language. So today's context will be we will be looking at overview of JavaScript, how the JavaScript architecture is, JavaScript execution context, JavaScript code execution in V8, and we will touching some part of the garbage collector, and there will be a live demo with the actual event loop, how it works. So first thing, like what is JavaScript? So like when you go to any sources in the web, okay, you will find like, okay, JavaScript is a dynamic computer programming language. It's allows you to implement dynamic features on web page that cannot be done without only CSS and HTML and CSS. So basically, if you want if you want to make your web page live, so you need a JavaScript. So that's why it is kind of an undisputed programming language with respect to client side as of now. And yeah, so JavaScript is a single threaded programming language. So when we say single threaded programming language, how it do asynchronous tasks, so we'll be looking at that too. So there is a contradiction, and there is a lot of discussion like whether JavaScript is a interpreted or a compiled programming language. So basically, JavaScript is a interpreted language, but it depends upon on which engine it is running. So we will be looking at how uh, we will be finding out how whether it is a interpreted or compiled or both. So as per the web, so JavaScript is an interpreted language. It allows execution of arbitrary JavaScript code line by line. So when we say interpreter, it just take the code and execute line by line. It doesn't know what will happen in the next line. Um, and JavaScript engine perform many of these steps. So to make it sophisticated, so this is how the architecture of a JavaScript runtime environment looks. So we will be covering, we'll be looking a little bit deeper into JavaScript engine, where we have call stack and the heap memory. We will not be touching on the web API, web browser APIs. We'll be looking at task queues. And finally, we will be going through event loop. So what exactly event loop means and what its role in the whole process of executing your code. So, so whenever you write a JavaScript code, so it executes in two phases. And before that, whenever your program start running, it JavaScript create a global context, global execution context, where your whole code will be divided into two part. So one will be your memory, and another will be your code execution. So for example, in this slide, so if you see in the phase one, it will only allocate the memory to your JavaScript variables and functions. So for example, and it stores as a key value pairs. So for example, if you see here, so I have declared a equals to 10. So it will be stored in a way that a will be the key and 10 will be the value. But when it comes to a function, so the whole function will be stored as a value. So in the first phase, it will start allocating only the memory, and in the second phase, it will start executing. So we will see in the next slide how it happens. So here we have taken a simple JavaScript program where we have a variable which is a equals to 10, and we have a function double the number. which does nothing but multiply numbers, whatever the number you provided to the function, with multiply into 2, and it returns the number. And down we are calling it. So basically we are doing a function expression where we store the value which is written by this function, and we are console logging it. So what happens in the first phase? So this is a execution context. Now the whole thing in the left hand side is a whole execution context. So now in that, initially in the phase one, the A won't be directly allocated 10. In the phase one, it will just assign a memory to it. So undefined. So what JavaScript engine will do, it will take this variable A and it will attach a special keyword undefined to it in the phase one. And coming to the function, what it will do, it will copy this whole function to a to as an object for this double the number key. And we have result. So result initially will be assigned with the special keyword undefined. So this is the phase one. So when it comes to phase two, okay, what will happen, it will start executing your code. So now in the phase two, it will start allocating your variable values to it. So it will allocate, it will remove this undefined and it will allocate actual value to it. So it will be 10. And whereas the function, it will allocate the whole function to it, and result will be the return value from this. So now the question arises here is, like when we call another function, like when we are calling this function, so there will be another execution context will be created inside this code block. So if you see here in the next part of the slide, so you see there is another execution context has been created, where inside this function, what and all the variables are there, it will start allocating in the same phased manner. So in the first phase, it will take the variable double number and it will assign a special keyword undefined to it. And once it is done, in the second phase, it will start executing it. So it will start executing like 2 into the number which you have provided it and return. So going to next slide. Okay, so if you see here in the second phase of this nested context, execution context, so when if we are passing A as 10, so 10 into 2, it will be 20. So in the next execution phase, it will replace this undefined and assign this 20 to it. And once it is assigned, and when JavaScript find this return keyword, so it will return this value and it will defragment this whole execution context. It will remove it from the its global execution context. So if you see here, it has written the result, and now the result which was undefined previously, it is replaced by 20 and it will be console logged. Okay, so how this happens? So so what you see here bar, this is called call stack, where your each execution steps or each execution context will be mounted in this call stack. So initially, when your program execution start, it will create a global execution context. In that, whenever your uh, function gets start executing, for example the double number, it will create another execution context and it will mount into this call stack. So once uh, this double the number function has been returned, it will remove from this call stack, and if there is nothing left for executing, it will remove this global execution context and your call stack will be empty then. So so the next question is like, how does JavaScript engine works, or the how does your JavaScript code executed in a V8 engine? So currently we are taking V8. There are other browser like Firefox, which uses SpiderMonkey as a JavaScript engine. So whenever you write your JavaScript code, and I will be telling why JavaScript is not limited to only interpreter. It is both combination of interpreter and your compiler. So whenever you write a JavaScript code, it is passed and it is converted into your abstract syntax tree. So I will be showing for a small JavaScript code how that abstract syntax tree looks. So we will be seeing in a very beautiful tool, which is open sourced. So this abstract tree, abstract syntax tree is taken by your interpreter. So in V8, the interpreter called as Ignition, Google has named the interpreter as Ignition, and they have a compiler which is called as Turbofan. Now, what does compiler do is its job is to optimize your code. So it happens in a very asynchronous manner, where your interpreter takes and convert it into bytecode, and in the similar way, in a very asynchronous way, the compiler will uh, keep optimizing your code and convert it into bytecode to for the execution. So we'll be seeing the abstract tree, how it looks for a small JavaScript code in the live demo. So, yeah. So as we said, like we will be covering, just we'll be touching on to how the garbage collector works. So, in any programming language, the memory management is the very essential part. But luckily, like in JavaScript, developer need not to explicitly handle it. It will be taken care by the JavaScript. So more commonly and widely used algorithm is mark and sweep. So how it works, I will be showing. Um, so in we are taking the example of we are taking the example of we are taking the example of V8. So in V8, the garbage collector is called as Orinoco. There is one more garbage collector in V8. It is called as Oil Pan, which does a different thing. So it does a three essential part. So it identify live or dead object. Okay, and the second phase is like it recycle or reuse the memory occupied by a dead object, and compact or defragmenting the memory. So what exactly it means? Okay, sorry. So mm, for example, I could not write here. For example, you have a object created, like where object equals to, you have created some new object here. So what JavaScript will do, it will allocate a memory for this object inside your heap. Okay, and in the next line, if you write object equals to null, so then JavaScript will remove the reference to that memory which is allocated in the first line. So what this mark and sweep algorithm will do, it will start looking at from the root, and it will start finding all the references from the top, from the root, and it will uh, assign or identify which and all are referenced or linked to each other, and it will find which are weak linked, or which has no references. For example, in this slide, if you see, all the green color spots are which are referenced or linked to each other in any manner. But if you see the blue color spots which are uh, dangling or unreferenced spots, so what a mark and sweep algorithm will do, it will only hold which have the reference, and it will remove or it will sweep all the unreferenced memory, and it will defragment it. So this is a very interesting topic, and I would really suggest you to go and read about this Orinoco garbage collector, which is amazing. They have there is official page of V8, which has a couple of blogs, and there is lot of discussion going on this. So just an overview of how the event loop works. So in previously we see what is call stack. So the code whatever you write, it all the code is line by line mounted into the your call stack. So for example, in this example, if you see the call stack, you have a set timeout, you have a respond function call, and you have a greet function call. Greet, sorry. So if you see in this example, you have something called a browser. There is a something browser API which is set timeout. So this set timeout, it is kind of a asynchronous thing. Okay. So what will happen? So whenever JavaScript start executing um, code which is inside your call stack, and if it finds any asynchronous part, so that asynchronous part will be handled by your web API. So for example, set timeout is a web API which is browser provided. So and we have attached a timer of 1000 millisecond. So what JavaScript will do, it will start executing your code, and when it will print hello first, and when it calls the respond function call, and it finds there is a asynchronous call, so that asynchronous call will be handled by your web API, and JavaScript will start executing the other part of your code. It won't be get stuck. So due because it is a single threaded and it makes an illusion of a multi-thread, this is the reason, like it doesn't get stuck there until and unless you write a heavy huge while loop. And once this set timeout is done, it will pass that call to a queue. So this is the below what you see, queue is a task queue, and the job of event loop is it will keep monitoring your call stack. So once everything is executed in the call stack and there is nothing left, and it will check if there is any task in the queue. So if it finds any task in the queue, it will append it to, or it will put that task into your call stack, and JavaScript will execute further. So we will be seeing a live demo of it. There is an open source tool which is created by Robert. I will be showing that. So what exactly event loop is? So an event loop is something that pulls stuff out of the queue and places onto a function execution stack whenever the function stacks become empty. And the event loop is the secret by which JavaScript gives the illusion of being multi-threaded even though it is a single threaded. So okay, so we will see uh, a demo. So as I told, like how the AST is created. So for example, for a simple const variable declaration, if I say const name equals to Abhishek, so for this one line, the abstract syntax tree will looks like this whole thing. So this is how your parcel will create an abstract tree for your written JavaScript code inside your browser. And yeah, you can imagine for the one single line of code, it has generated this thing. And if you go for a bigger functions or number of variables, so it will be huge. So coming to the main part is like how event loop looks and works. So let me remove all this stuff. Okay, So for example, I will just put a simply console. And if I save and run, it goes to the call stack and it get executed immediately. Pretty simple. Okay, now what happens if you have some asynchronous things? So for example, you have a const a equals to 10. You have a function. Let's name it timeout, which has a asynchronous function or a callback set timeout. Takes and callback, takes and function. And it will just log. And let's give a timer of. Let's call this function timeout. So let's see how it looks. Okay. So the function call came and you have a set timeout function here. Or let me do it in another way. Okay. Set timeout. Set timeout. I'll take some function. Call it that function as timeout. Okay. And it doesn't do anything. It's just console.log something. Wait. Sorry, my mistake. I should provide it a timer. Right. So if you see there, if you see here, okay, let me rerun it. So it get to call stack. Now the timeout, it's an browser API. So it's running in its browser API part until 100 milliseconds. Then it will come to the callback queue. If you see here, it came to the callback queue. And now once it sees all the call stack is empty, the event loop, what it will do, it will push into the callback stack and it will be executed. But what happens if I copy it and I do it another 4 times? Okay, Now, uh, as per our assumption, every set timeout should execute after 1 second. All right. So if I run this, it's it's not guaranteed that all set timeout will run in only 1 second. So the timer what you provide here, it's the minimum time, not the exact time here. So this sometimes this can become uh, un, like unpredictable thing, or you cannot rely uh, on set timeout in this case. So this is a small demo how uh, behind the scenes event loop works and what exactly its role in your JavaScript, and why it makes an illusion of being a multi-threaded, though it is a single-threaded. So yeah, that is from my side. Uh, you can ask any questions if you want.
Okay, Abhishek, we have a question.
Yeah.
Is this a free tool for practicing JavaScript?
Is there any free tools for practicing JavaScript?
No, no. What you showed right now, is this a
Yeah,
free
it's an
tool?
open source. It is not a tool to practice JavaScript. I would say it is a tool to demonstrate how the event loop work behind the scenes. For practicing JavaScript, there are a couple of more tools. You have Sandbox and CodePen.
All right, seems like that's it. Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Yeah, thank you so much.